Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. And today I wanted to make another video about states versus self concept because I think both are equally important to consider when you're going on your manifestation journey and you're learning law of assumption. And, I think both are effective ways to manifest. We hear a lot of people talk about states of consciousness and that manifesting is just about getting into the state of your wish fulfilled, getting into the state of already having your desire. But I think self concept sometimes is really overlooked. Now, I try to speak from personal experience when I'm talking about law of assumption and on this channel. And so today I wanted to kind of break down my journey with working on my self concept versus being in the state of the wish fulfilled versus not being in the state of the wish fulfilled because we're human, right? Like we're gonna have moments where we're not always aligning to the best version of ourselves. We're not always aligning to the version of ourselves that has what we want. And I think it's important to really break this down. Okay, so self concept, the way I like to explain it is self concept is basically the direct relationship between you and your desire, right? Like it's the beliefs you hold about the world, manifestation in general, and every little specific desire that you have. And states of consciousness is of course, the state you occupy, the level of consciousness or awareness that you have in general. Like you cannot not be in a state. Like we're always in a state of consciousness. For example, me recording this podcast video or this lecture right now, I'm in the state of consciousness that I am recording this lecture and that I know it's going to go up and many people are going to be hearing it and it's going to at least resonate with one person out there. And both are equally valid, right? Like both are, I wouldn't even say states as a technique because it's not, because a state is just a byproduct of being alive, being conscious, being consciousness itself, right? And self concept, even though having a good self concept isn't necessary, I feel like working on your self concept and having that solid foundation of no, I am worthy of my desires, no, manifesting does come easily for me. I feel like that has really helped me. You know, a personal goal I made for 2025 is that I really wanted to work on my self concept when it comes to money. I wanted to completely overhaul my money story because I feel like in relation to everything else I've manifested, like I manifested my SP, I have manifested better health for myself. Um, but I didn't grow up poor by any means. However, I think over time, me growing up and especially as a teenager, my adolescent years, the years between 13 and 18, I think um, the story around money that I held previously was one of lack. It was one that money is hard to come by. It when I do have it, it goes out quickly, right? It's never enough. And so that was a goal of mine 2025 is I wanted to completely overhaul my money story. And I post a lot of subliminals on this channel. So I listen to my old subliminals. Like I don't just post them and don't listen to them. Like usually all the content I make, I first and foremost, I make all the content because myself, those are things that I want to manifest for myself. And then of course if someone wants a special request or something like that, I'll do that too. But I really wanted to focus on money this year because it's something that I wanted to dramatically change about my self concept. It's a self concept area that I felt like really needed more attention than the other ones, right? And since me doing that, since me, you know, daily telling myself affirmations like money is abundant, money is plentiful as air, Um, I have an endless supply of money. I have seen more consistently money come into my experience, both expected and unexpectedly, right? And this goes to say that I could manifest all the money without a good self concept, right? Through my state, through the state of just knowing that, I am rich, I am wealthy, and thinking those things. But I feel like it's a little bit, I don't want to say harder, but I feel like it's a little bit shaky if you don't work on the underlying beliefs. And I'm not saying like we need to work on every single underlying belief. But at the same time, I feel like self concept really solidifies our manifestations, right? Like we can manifest the SP, we can manifest the money, we can manifest whatever. But if our self concept says that we're not deserving of something, that it's not going to last, then we can manifest it in, but we're going to manifest it right the fuck out, right? And so, really working on your self concept, really understanding that it's the version of yourself that you're identifying with, right? That's really that's what's really creating at the end of the day. Like, yes, it's your thoughts, and to some extent, it's your feelings because your thoughts create your feelings. Um, but at the end of the day, it's what you're identifying with. And if you're identifying with someone who consistently or subconsciously thinks that manifesting is hard, or, it's easier to manifest certain things than other things, then that's going to be reflected in your reality. So that's why I think like it's not necessary, obviously, to manifest um, or to have a good self concept when you're trying to manifest. Like you can manifest with a self concept that needs improvement. But I just feel like working on your self concept really, again, solidifies and keeps what you're trying to manifest. And it just makes you feel good, right? Like, who wouldn't want to fucking work on themselves and know all the fucking, like, all these amazing things about yourself? To know that you're a master fucking manifester, to know that you get exactly what you want. Um, and it's something, right? Like, a lot of these things, depending on your beliefs, like, everyone's different. That's why certain things are easier to manifest than others because of our self concept, right? Like we have certain stories, certain experiences that have evolved into our present self concept. And that's why we put certain desires on a pedestal versus other desires, right? But everyone's different. To me, you know, I never really had this huge conflicting story when it came to manifesting love, when it comes to manifesting relationship. Now, sure, I have had my fair share of shitty experiences. I think we all have. Like that's just part of the human experience. The human experience it, is having some moments in life where we experience contrast, where we experience what we don't want. But at the same time, right? Like I never had this huge underlying belief that I wasn't worthy of love or I wasn't deserving of a happy, fulfilling, committed relationship, right? But when it came to money, I've been there. I've been there where I've almost been evicted. I've been there not having enough. I've been there where I've had to, put something back in the store because I was trying to save every last penny that I had. And so it was really more apparent to me that yes, I do have a lack mindset sometimes when it comes to money. Yes, I have all these limiting beliefs of why I can't achieve monthly a certain income that I would like. When I and in comparison to love, I realized like I didn't have those same limiting beliefs that were holding me back. And that's why I always perceived money as something so much harder to manifest. And I know it sounds so cliche when people say it, but like money really is fucking energy. Money is expectancy, right? Like we all know the feeling of payday. We all know the feeling of when tax season hits. Like that feeling that you know you are about to receive money. The feeling that, okay, I might have $30 in my bank account, but you know what? Let me go get this Whataburger. Let me go splurge on this, thing I want. Because I know tonight I'm gonna get paid. So it really doesn't fucking matter, what I do right now. It doesn't matter what I spend my money on my last $30, $50 on, because I know money is abundant. I know that I'm gonna get more. And that's the attitude when it comes to manifesting money, that I've really tried to embody, because, you know, money is about ease. Money is about excess and overflow. Money is about expectancy. It's not about lack. It's not about, scarcity or anything like that. And so that was really my goal for 2025, is working on my self concept, um, in regards to money. And I've already seen improvement. I seen improvement, the very first day after, when I started to really hone in on the story. Like I did this before, like probably like the last 2 or 3 weeks of 2024. But it really wasn't until 2025, I was like, you know what, this is going to be like a New Year's resolution of mine, is to really change my money story. But I was experiencing movement in my 3D when it comes to money, like, guys, like literally the next fucking day, right? Like something happened that next day after I started working on my money story, and I got triggered as fuck in the 3D. Like, I think something hit my account. It was like $50. I was stressed about Christmas presents at the time, because I had, family coming down and wanted to make sure everyone had a good Christmas. And then boom, like I'm affirming that money is as abundant as air, and that it's easy to come by. And the 3D hits me, right? Takes $50 out of my account. And I fucking spiraled. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I was fine, because I fucking wasn't. Like, I was at work pissed as fuck, right? And I had a friend, and he's like, look, you can come over to my house. We're gonna budget. And I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking budget. Like, I don't have enough money. You know what I mean? Like, all those old beliefs were already kicking in. And he was like, no, let's just budget, calm down. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to his house. I was about to get off work. I just wanted to go home. But something inside me told me, just go, like, you can just see what you have, if you have to kind of reduce the cost, reduce your, budget of Christmas, so be it. So I go, right? And long story short, like, I had the impulse of applying for a credit card. Well, now, currently, at the time, like, my credit wasn't the best. And all the other offers that I had for credit cards were like secured credit cards. So you had to put money down, So I, I've been there. Like, I was 18, 19, went on vacations, wasn't responsible with my credit at all, right? So I had all these things in my credit report that were holding me back from getting credit cards, or getting credit cards with higher limits. But something just told me to apply for this credit card. And I did. And I instantly got approved. Now, there were hurdles in my 3D, like, I was trying to create an account and I was having issues. So there were like little obstacles that kept coming in my way, but I kept persisting that, no, I'm going to get this fucking credit card. Like, no, like, you know what, like, let me step back into my power. Like, even though I have been spiraling for a few hours, somehow, some way it's going to work out in my favor. And it did. I was approved for the credit card. The lady on the phone, when I called customer service and I was like, hey, I'm having these issues with my account, she was super nice. She set me up, and I was able to have an extra $300 to spend on Christmas, which I didn't have before. And since then, like, I've, other things in regards to money, like I keep finding money. People keep giving me money. Since then, I've also like been approved for other credit cards. So I really feel like, just in this past month and a half, I'm already, open. I'm already receiving more money than I ever have. And it's really been my shift in my state, but also my self concept that has changed things for me. And so yeah, like I'm not here to say again, like, you can't manifest with a shitty self concept or a not an ideal self concept to have, but it's really going to solidify things for you. It's really going to keep the things that you're wanting to manifest, that you do manifest in, rather than them coming and going, right? Um, but we're always every single moment, every single present moment, we are in a state. We're either in the state of having the thing that we want, that we desire, or we're not. So really just pay attention these next few days and in general. What state you're occupying. Are you occupying the state of you being in the wish fulfilled, of you already having your desires? Are you in the state of waiting? Because I know as humans, we experience this 3D in a linear perspective, right? Even though we know like time is eternal, um, we're technically experiencing time, you know, simultaneously. Every moment is happening right now in this present moment, but the way we experience is very linear. So we can get caught up in waiting for our manifestations. If I just, we have the mindset of if I just get to this moment, if I just get to this experience, I'll be happy. But we can cultivate the feeling of already having the experience that we want to experience in our imagination. So that's the power that we have as creators of our own reality, is to go within and cultivate those feelings inside of us, to cultivate those experiences in our imagination and practice that. This is a skill set, right? Like conscious manifestation is something that can come easily for some. But when we've been so conditioned by society and we when we really drink the Kool-Aid, the Muggle Kool-Aid, right? And we've been told this is how life is, it can really be a struggle sometimes to think differently, to know that the power is inside of us, and thinking imagining as if you already have it really is enough. And that's what I that's why I am so passionate about spreading this message to people, because this shit works. But you have to test it. You have to apply it. Listening to this information isn't enough. You know, at some point we have to step into our God state and we have to apply this information. And we have to persist. Persistence is the biggest thing. If we continuously give up our power to the 3D, if we give up our power to other people, to circumstances, then again, ask yourself, what state are you occupying? Are you occupying the state of someone who knows that their desires are inevitable for them? That somehow, some way it's going to fucking work out? And yeah, like that's basically what I wanted to say today, guys, is self-concept, it's an amazing thing. The more you work on your self-concept, the easier it is going to be to manifest everything that you want. So I'm going to leave that with you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.